was roaming around. Just remember, even though this is a relatively safe neighborhood, you're living in the Bronx, protect your home, invest in your home, protect your security, like alarm systems, camera systems, even these new home automation type systems. Look into it, they're worth it. The other pattern that's happening is auto rim theft. It's really something that's prevalent throughout the city, but it's especially prevalent here in the Bronx, and it's happening here in the 49th precinct. It is happening in the Van Nest area, where basically newer model 2014 and newer Hondas and Nissans, their rims are basically being targeted for theft. Thieves are coming in the dead of night for the most part, and they're going for cars around the street for the most part, and they are stealing as many of the rims and tires that they can possibly manage. Oh, and car break-ins as well. That's not considered a pattern of crime that's happening here, specifically in Van Nest, but it does happen where people just break into cars in general. When it comes to people breaking into cars, sometimes you can avoid it by not keeping things in your car. Other times, something just break the window and it happens. We have been actually doing pretty good with arresting these types of people, and this year is no exception. Last year we did pretty good, and this year we're keeping on pace with arresting the same amount of people that we had last year for car break-ins specifically. But as always, keep your Gucci, Prada bags, and Mona Lisas out of your car. Keep things of that nature. Just don't keep things of real value in your car. It's not a reliable place to put your stuff. Seniors. In the Bronx in general, there's been an uptick in crime against seniors happening in general on all fronts. Whether it be robberies, grand larcenies, burglaries, you name it. In general, it's just an increase. The 4-9 is no exception to that either. One of the things that we noticed is basically IRS scams. Even here, it's not IRS season, they're still happening. Someone calls you asking you for money, saying I'm from the IRS. It's a scam. Don't fall into it. These people are convincing. They could be actors. I don't know. But they're very good at what they do. Don't fall for their nonsense. Same thing with Con Ed. If you own a business, have a friend that owns a business, be aware that people are calling the businesses and saying that they are Con Ed employees, and they're saying that the business owes them money. And since they're going after businesses, they're saying that you owe them thousands of dollars. And then the businesses, unfortunately, are falling for that as well. And then they're out thousands of dollars for a Con Ed bill that they don't owe. Just be aware these are all scams. It's happening. It's occurring. Don't fall for it. Another thing that's happening is chain snatching and robbery. That's not so much in this particular area, but just close to this area, in the Pelham area, White Plains Road, Pelham, that general area. Basically, people who are not paying attention to their surroundings are getting their gold chain snatched right off the necks. And in general, robberies, that being cell phones or plastic bags full of $2,000. My suggestion, yes. My suggestion to you is if you have $2,000, keep it in multiple places on you. If you're going to carry that type of money. Yes, I'm not being facetious. I'm not joking. If you're really going to carry that type of money, have some in this sock, have some in that sock, this pocket, that pocket, so that you don't lose all of it in your one little plastic bag. And when it comes to the gold chains, you may want to hide them and pay attention to your surroundings. That's the biggest thing you could possibly take away from any of this. As always, just pay attention to your surroundings. Don't let your cell phone or anything else distract you. That's especially true when you're crossing the street, that type of thing, because we've also had an increase in the amount of senior citizens that get hit by cars in this command, and we've also had up to 4 fatalities within the last 28 days. I think 3 of them were seniors. And that's literally just crossing the street and they get hit by cars. So pay attention to the cars when they're coming at you, even if you are in a crosswalk, even if you have the light, look at the cars that are coming, especially if the cars are making turns. That's basically when it's happening, especially when the vehicle is making a left turn. The reason why that happens is because the front of your vehicle is an A column, It basically hides, you can hide people, carts, big things, especially if you have big vehicles, which is common because people like big trucks in this area. So be careful with cars on the street. And that's all I got. It's been a good summer, and I hope to serve you more, and thank you very much for your time.
No question, we don't have time for
But
questions.
if anybody has a specific question or concern, you can come up when we finish and I can give you a card and you can email.
How come you can't get to the 49 precinct?
I got my cards on
I'm
that
not,
table over there, too.
because they have other things on the agenda.
That's
why,
why.
and it's being timed.
No, what I'm saying is, I called the 49 precinct, and they don't pick up their phone.
They never do.
Well, they never do. Well, that's good.
So you have to call the captain.
Well, that's good. So what do we have?
Okay, so the way it's going to work tonight is that Charlene Jackson Mendez is the Vice President of the Banner State Alliance. I'm Bernadette Farrar, the President. We're going to be moderating the questions that we have for our candidates. And by the way, welcome everybody. Welcome to Van Nest. We understand that Van Nest is at the western end of the 13th City Council District. We understand that. And unfortunately, Van Nest is cut in half. And also, it's cut in half for both State Assembly and City Council, but we do welcome this forum here tonight. So, and we just want to remind everybody that September 12th is for the Democratic primary, okay, for the candidate, and that's September 12th. And November 7th is going to be the general election for Republican, Democratic, and any other parties that go on the ballot. Okay? So mark your calendars. I'm going to open up.
Sorry.
What?
Just remind them that the primary is open only to registered Democrats. So if you're not a registered Democrat, you cannot vote in the primary
On
which
September
is
12th.
This Tuesday, September 12th.
Okay. We're going to have for our opening question to each one of the candidates. It's going to be a minute, and the rest of the questions are going to be a minute and a half. If you go over a little bit, no problem. John and Joanne are the keepers of the time, and they'll ring the bell when you're going to, after at a minute and a half. Okay? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to ask, the opening question is, one, Van Nest is located at the western end of the 13th Council District, shared with Councilman Richie Torres in the 15th. Van Nest wants your assurances that the half of Van Nest in the 13th District will be treated the same as residents in Pelham Bay, Bronx Neck, and Country Club, which are fully located in the district, and be treated equally when applying for capital or expense funds. We also want assurance that if the half of Van Nest in the 13th District gets improvements, that the City Council elected will work with the Councilman Torres in the 15th, okay? We're asking you, will you commit to this for Van Nest? That's one part of this question. The second part is, who are you, and what qualifies you to represent the people of the Bronx 13th City Council District? And we're going to start that way, coming this way. So, Egidio, you're first.
Good evening, all. My name is Cementelli, Egidio Cementelli. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you again for having us here. And I'm sorry that Van Nest was purposely cut out of the district. The last census. You know, we might have some hope. 2 years there'll be a new redrawing of the district. If you're at the hearings, I'll be at the hearings. Maybe some of you will be at the hearings. Maybe we'll bring a little bit more of Van Nest back into the district. And that's what happens. So I think we have an opportunity, so something to work for in the near future. I have 30 years of experience. I've been a professional volunteer. Some of you have received some of this. Maybe you'll be receiving it in the mail. It's probably my only mailer. You will not be receiving a fancy mailer. If you're a Democrat in the district here, you probably have received over 20, maybe 25 pieces of literature in total. from all the candidates. This race is the most expensive race in the entire city of New York. Money dictates here.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Go to the question, answer the question.
Well,
Whoever,
Well, if you give me a little bit, give me some more minutes, and I'll definitely answer that question, ladies.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Doyle.
Thank you, everybody. Three-part question in the, what, 90 seconds here?
Yeah, well,
I know, I've got a lot to say about Van Nest. Let's start with you guys first, because that's the most important thing, is we're public servants, we're here to serve you. So what can we do to work closely with Councilman Torres, who is very likely to be reelected? And part of my plan is about this.
Please, John.
Yep, okay, so, part of my plan is just about that. I mean, we want to do participatory budgeting, giving you a say in how your tax dollars are spent. I, like you, am sick and tired of the politicians showing up with a plastic check, like they're E.J. McMahon at Publishers Clearinghouse. That's your money. You deserve a say in how that money is spent. Richie does participatory budgeting on this side of the district. I would work with him. We put the money together so the whole neighborhood could decide how that money would best be spent. And I want to do a town hall in every neighborhood every year. Just because half of Van Nest is in the district and half is not is almost irrelevant, because we'll be doing one in Van Nest. And I would encourage Richie, maybe he could very well be the speaker of the city council. So I would hope to work with him and do one there. And I will even do one in Westchester Square, where there will be another council member on the other side. And, you know, again, even if my choice doesn't win that election, it's irrelevant, because once you get elected, you have to work with everyone. And that's really what this is about, is listen, everyone has relationships, everyone can do everything, but when you get elected, you have to work with everyone. There have been elections where people have lost who had everyone's backing, and the next person who gets in understands it's incumbent on us to work with everybody. Back in 2012, Naomi had everyone behind her, right? We all moved on.
Thank you, John. Thank you. Mr. Victor Ortiz.
Before we start, I'd like to say, can we have a little prayer for Mr. Gomez, who was on the panel. He's stuck in Florida with his family in Fort Lauderdale. And he called me, he's stuck, he can't get out. He's supposed to be up here speaking to us. He was taken off the ballot here illegally. And so please, in your hearts tonight, pray for him that he gets back home safe. Thank you. All right, so my name is Victor Ortiz. I'm a teacher. I'm a hospital worker. I'm an old BMX professional bike rider. And as a tenured teacher, I grew up and was educated here in the Bronx. And now I want to be a city councilman. I think the biggest problem here in Van Nest is crime. We need to focus our money in our budget into reducing crime. And as the sergeant said, you know, the crime rates are 104% theft, 69% assault, 28% burglary, 17% burglary, and robbery. That's incredible numbers. The police force needs more details and needs more budget in their unit. And that's the bottom line. If we reduce the crime, we improve the community. I'm here as a city council member, as a teacher, as a regular middle class worker, asking you to vote for me, because I feel that I could present a new budget to the city council that will help the police department and will reduce crime. The music levels, the kids playing the music in their cars is out of control. I just heard that from one of the residents, right? I can't sleep at night when you have 1,400 watts of music playing. So please vote for me. In the back of my flyer is what you need to walk into the election and to vote for Victor R. Ortiz. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. Ms.
First of all, thank you again, Bernadette and Van Nest. For the last 5 years, I've had the distinct honor of representing this area as your assemblyman. I've never discounted Van Nest, even though it's a small portion of the district that I represent. I've attended your meetings regularly. If you recall, Will Madonna was here. We'll certainly have someone attending your meetings regularly moving forward. I testified against the redistricting back then and against Bernadette. We did a great job, but powers that be certainly did what they needed to do to make sure that our neighborhoods were not combined. They wanted us divided and separated, and it's unfortunate. But I do stay in touch with this neighborhood periodically throughout the year, not only by attending your meetings, but by making sure that I play a major sponsorship role in your park event, your family day that you do at Van Nest. So big that it looks like it's actually mine, even though I represent a small portion of it compared to the other electeds. In addition, every snowfall that you have, that's a considerable accumulation, I call or I text and ask, tell me about the streets, where are the problems? Before you call me, I contact, and I'm sure your board here can verify that. I will keep Gomez and the others that may be subject to Hurricane Irma's destruction, and they'll be in my prayers and thoughts. But I do want to bring up the last thing that we've done that is of significance. As of last week, filed a lawsuit against New York City for the inundation of supportive housing units that is plaguing this borough. I will fight and stand by you. We need to share this responsibility. It will not be borne on the shoulders of one borough. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, we're going to go on to our categories. Charlene will be asking the first two questions. Okay.
Go ahead.
All right. So, and I'm gonna start with John. Okay, so in Van Ness and throughout the 5 boroughs, when 311 complaints regarding SROs, illegal basement conversions, or residential homes that are running programs are reported to the Department of Buildings, DOB is unable to follow through to gain access to these properties. LS4s are repeatedly posted, yet the next step of issuing a warrant is not pursued. This is a chronic citywide problem formally and extensively addressed by the city comptroller in 2013. Several recommendations were made, including the need for DOB to follow up with these warrants. But to date, warrants are still not issued. How will you ensure that DOB follows through with warrants for property owners that fail to respond to LS4s? John?
It's a great question, and I know DOB complaints are at the heart of a lot of what Van Ness puts up with and has to go through. I know that SROs remain a problem, not just in Van Ness, but throughout the Bronx as a whole. What I would say is, we have to look at how other municipalities and other localities handle this. For example, in Rockland County, many of the towns and the villages there, they have a system by which when you send a building inspector out, they have to look around. Are there multiple doorbells? Are there multiple utility lines? We can check an address and see how many Con Ed accounts and how many other accounts are listed on that property. We should be pursuing those things. There should be a more thorough investigation. And listen, this job for city councilmen, and I believe I'm the best qualified for it, is you're really the ombudsman of services for your district, frankly. You have to be there and make sure that your constituents are getting served. So when I see that there's a large number of LS4s that are listed on a door and there's been no follow-up poll, you have to follow up on that. You have to pursue that. Why are there so many DOB complaints? Are there the same locations that are getting complained on? Who is the property owner? Something I work very closely with Bernadette and John on. Is this property perhaps in foreclosure? Can we bring the bank in and try to leverage their power on this property? Those are the things that are going to make a difference in addressing these problems. And again, I will be as active in that as I was when I was a Senate aide in terms of working with you guys, in terms of taking things as thorough as possible, and I think I have a reputation for that, for better or for worse, and really going after some of these problem people that we have. For example, we had the House of Horrors. Everyone remembers this? We had the House of Horrors, we had this guy blasting a boombox. This building was in total disarray, and the person who was causing the most consternation in that property happened to have a subsidy, a voucher. But there was drugs being dealt in out of the property. I'm the one that put in the call that for a temporary